What is up guys, it's Wolfie here and welcome back to the channel. We are back again checking out the new totally accurate battle simulator unit creator. This is the second video on a mini series on this unit creator, so if you didn't check out the last video, go check that one out, as it was an absolute blast making those units and you guys seem to enjoy that. And again, if you guys are enjoying these videos, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. It really helps me out, guys. So today we're going to be making some factions and units that as soon as I first set my eyes on the new guns in the game, I just had to make them. So today we're going to be creating a World War II scene with allies and Axis powers, and I'm going to walk through the steps of creating a main unit for each team. As you can see guys, I've done a little bit of prep work before we get into the unit creation for the leaders. I've made some standard units for both factions, and that's a kickstart for this video today. So, first unit of the day is the standard soldier. This is our foot soldier. He's got an M1 Garand. He's looking very much ready for action. Our second unit is a heavier unit in terms of weaponry anyway. He's got the BAR. In terms of style, very similar. Again, both of these are for the allies. So the last unit for our ally team is the sergeant. Now he's got a Thompson submachine gun, so he's going to be taking on a load of firepower. He's going to be able to put a load of bullets downrange and is going to be able to take out quite a lot of the Axis team. So now over to the Axis team. Now this unit is the foot soldier. In direct comparison to the M1 Garand, this is using the Kar 98K. Now, it does have the additional range, but it doesn't fire as quickly. So, slower firepower, but more range. So, we'll see that in action in a minute. We've got another unit for the Axis team, and this one is again going to be putting a lot of firepower out there. With the submachine gun, it's going to be putting a load of firepower downstream, but it's not a sergeant. So, it's still a lower level unit, and it's got less health. So, it is going to take a bit of a beating. Now the final unit for the Axis team. This one I think is one of the most impressive units. It's got an MG42 and this unit actually will lie down to fire its weapon. That's how heavy and powerful this weapon is. It's a pretty beefy unit and we're going to have a couple on the back row for the Axis team. It's whether we're going to get the generals to be good enough to fight against this unit. This is going to be the unit to beat, especially for the allies. So now you've seen the units, let's get into the unit creator. I think I'm going to start with the allies. They're going to get a general loosely based, I think, off Winston Churchill. We're going to give it a go anyway. Alright guys, so we've got Churchill here. He is going to be our first unit that we make in the unit creator. So I think for his weapon, I'm tempted to give him, so I think there's Allies older pistol. I think it's like an M1911. So maybe, yeah, there it is. So I reckon we're going to use the M1911. I think that's probably going to be his main weapon. But then I do want him to have a melee weapon. And the reason for that is I'm going to have the Axis commander be able to block bullets the same as this one. So they're going to eventually be able to fight out in hand-to-hand combat at the end. So I know Churchill used to have a cane, so I don't know if there's a cane in here. Yes. Okay, so there is a cane. So we can actually have him with a cane and an M1911. I think that's the plan. Now, I did want the special ability to be able to block bullets. I don't want him taken out right at the start, so I want him to have the master projectile block, so he can actually get in there and eventually take on the other commander. So we've got him with the block. Now I also want him to be able to jump in. Like jump into the enemy. So whether we do a super jump or a halfling jump, that's the question. Let's go with a halfling jump. Let's go for a kind of a small jump into the action with his cane. He can whack that enemy commander on the head. Now up to the close. So Churchill was a bold man, but he did like his cigars. So I'm thinking if we can find anything cigar-like, that would be perfect. Legacy beard? That kind of looks like a cigar, maybe? I don't know if that's too low. I guess it is coming off his chin. I wonder, I think the farmer has like a pipe? Maybe that will work for now. Let me see if I can find it. Let's search, let's see if we can find a pipe. There we go, the farmer pipe. I reckon that's pretty close. I think, is it probably as close as we're going to get for a cigar? So we'll just put a little grey pipe in there. I think that works. So we'll go with that anyway. So I think that's all we need for the head really. For the torso, we definitely need little Churchill in a suit. So let's find that suit for him. There we go. There's his suit. Now I do want it to be a black suit. So let's make it a little bit darker. And it obviously has to be a white shirt underneath. I don't think the red really goes for Churchill. I don't think that's sort of his colour. So we'll probably just go with a black tie as well, I think. I think that works well. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to see what it looks like with that other shirt with the bow tie. Just to see if it makes a difference to kind of the outside. Because you can actually layer some of these items. So let's see if we can add that on. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. I think you lose the whole outline of the shirt, of the jacket there anyway. So you kind of lose that he's wearing a jacket. I wonder if there's anything else we can add to it. I'm kind of after some sort of like monocle holder or anything. Maybe a Wild West belt? Make him a little bit like he's got a gun belt on. I'm just going to add it. I'm going to do it. He's going to have a gun belt on. We need him just in some normal pants with some black trousers. I think that works perfectly fine, and we'll just stick some normal shoes on him. I don't think we need to go anything special with these. So the Wild West ones, I think they work perfectly. But I think that's pretty much our Churchill there. Now, I don't want him to die straight off, so I am going to give him quite a lot of health, I think. And I'm also going to up his damage. I wonder what his unit cost is coming to. 2,000. I am going to reduce that to 1,000 just so we've got it. So I'm going to leader of the allies. There we go. And let's save that unit in. So we should be able to now add him to the allies team. Let's get him added in. There we go. And now let's focus on our Axis leader. Now, we all know the leader of the Axis team. It's going to be Hitler. We're going to give it a go. I'm going to see if I can make him look as Hitler-like as possible. Now, I don't know if his iconic mustache is in there, but we'll try our best. Maybe it'll just be a curly one. We'll give it a go anyway. So, weapons-wise, I'm pretty sure there's a Luger. I think there's a Luger in here anyway. Let's see. There it is. He needs a hand-to-hand combat weapon. So, I'm not seeing anything Hitler-like, kind of. Like, Churchill had his cane, for example. He wasn't really known for having anything in his hand. So, what I might go with is, just for a bit of fun, I think I might just go with the boxing glove. Just who's like one-on-one with Churchill in this point. So, he's got the Luger, he's got a boxing glove. Now, abilities, I'm going to do pretty much exactly the same as Churchill, so it's a fair fight. He's going to have the master projectile block, and he's going to have the halfling jump. It's going to be exactly the same. Now, for clothes, this is the important bit. Let's get his head looking right. Now, I think for hair, I think there's hair called dad hair. Yeah, there it is. That is probably the most standard looking hair. Now, I don't think Hitler was blonde. I'm pretty sure he had dark brown hair. So we'll go with the dark brown. I think that looks right. And now to look for mustaches. So do we just go with a simple little mustache and give it a go? Maybe just that one. I think that one works. I think it also does need to be brown. So we need the same colour as the hair. That one. So we've got the dark brown in there. I think that works. So let's go with what he wears. Now, I'm pretty sure he was known for wearing kind of brown shirts. So similar to Churchill in there, I'm going to put him probably in a suit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to like a wood colour. So I'm thinking that sort of colour. And I'm going to put a deep red on the tie. I think that works well. And again, I think I'm going to go with a white shirt underneath. I think that works well. Okay, I think these pirate pants, I think they work well. Let's change it up for those. And again, change the colour across to that wooded colour. Perfect. So that is our final version of Hitler. I think you get the idea anyway. Okay, Hitler is done. Let's save that in. Okay, so into the battle now. What I've set up here is I've got 3 platoons of Axis power. So we've got this right side, the left side, and this middle platoon. So they'll take up the main flak of the Allies. And at the back, you've got Hitler himself with his little boxing glove. I don't know if he looks as good as blue as he did in red. We've got him surrounded by these heavy gunners and some of these light infantry, again, with all that firepower. Hitler's kind of got this elite unit at the back. Now over to the Allies, I've got a slightly different setup. So I don't know if this is going to work, but what we've got is we've almost got 3 units, again, similar to the Axis, but we've actually got slightly more units. The reason being is I've gone slightly less heavy and more of these M1 Garands, because they can produce a lot more firepower than the Kar 98Ks over there. We've got a couple of these heavy units, but the rest of them, they are mainly M1 Garands. We've got a couple of these sergeants dotted around, so we've got one over this side. I think there's one over this side as well. And then at the back, we've got Churchill himself smoking his pipe away, and we've got the 2 heavy units either side of him and a sergeant out the back. So let's take a look at this fight as it kicks off. So the issue I see to start with is that we're going to have, because of the distance I've put these units at, we're going to have a lot more firepower coming from the Axis up front. So this is going to happen quite soon, I think. I think the Kar 98Ks, they do fire quite far. That is the first bullet fired, and it's a direct hit on the ankles of this allied unit. Okay, so these guys are not even firing yet. Like I said, there's a fair bit of range difference. But I think by the time they get into range, there's only going to be a few taken out. Yes! Okay, so the Allies, they're getting their first shots off, but they are being taken down pretty quickly, which is concerning. This might be our first Axis unit down. It is. He is not happy. This guy... Oh, he just got absolutely nailed in the chest. But by the looks of the initial forces, the Axis are falling quite quickly. It must just be the overwhelming weight of firepower that's currently coming down on them. Oh, that was not a good hit. Oh, okay. First couple of bullets going in on Hitler. So Hitler's currently blocking. That was intentional. It was then him and Churchill could hopefully fight out. But I don't know if he's going to manage to stop all this firepower coming in, because that is a considerable amount. Churchill's not even here yet, so he's gonna really struggle to get over there in time, especially if all this firepower is going down on them. I think one gunner is down. He's ready to go. I think he's just setting up. He's gonna end up firing. Oh, okay. Hitler just got hit. So yeah, the firepower coming down. He is struggling to block all of that. Oh! That's it! He's down! He's down and out! Is the morale gonna drop? I did not give him easily enough hit points to deal with all that firepower. Whoa! That is a lot of firepower. So the second heavy machine gun for the Axis is set up, but it is a little bit too late. They've not managed to defend their leader, and they're going to be taken out, I think, fairly quickly. Churchill, I think you're going to be victorious this time. I think you're going to manage to fend off this attack. It's Churchill! He's going on his own! Oh! Okay, that was... Churchill's going to take out the last guy, I think. He's going to give it a go. Oh! He was not ready for that. Look at that. Oh! And Churchill... You were victorious this time round. So I want to see Churchill versus Hitler one-on-one. I think that would be really cool to see. So let's get that set up. So this is the battle you guys wanted to see. This is the final Allies versus Axis. You've got Churchill here. He's pretty happy after his last victory. And you've got Hitler, who has been risen from the dead. He got taken out in the last one, but he is back with a vengeance. So let's see who wins this pretty even fight. Well, currently they're just using their block attack against both their ranged weaponry. So this might take some time. I'm thinking we might need to command one of these units to actually fight off, because currently they're a very even match. So let's maybe take control of Churchill and see what we can do with him. so we can block. Oh, oh, okay. That was not good. We need to be able to block it. Okay. Oh, come on, hit him with your cane. Hit him with the cane. Okay, we managed to get a hit in. Is he going to go down? Oh, he's down. He's down on the ground. Get up, Churchill. Get up. Oh, the boxing glove. The final boxing glove. Oh no. That final punch. It took him out. Well guys, I think I'll leave it there on that one. That was not the result I expected. It's probably down to my pretty poor fighting skills on this game. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you have, please drop a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I want to produce more tabs content. I hope you guys are really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the game thoroughly, and I'll see you guys in the next one.